Hello, restaurant owners and chefs. So the December rush is just around the corner, and I'm sure you're looking for that perfect menu item, something that's festive but also crazy profitable. Well, you are in exactly the right place. We've put together a guide for a dish that could seriously, and I mean seriously, boost your bottom line this season.
All right, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about the big opportunity here. Then, we'll really dig into the numbers, the profitable part. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of how to make this work in a busy kitchen without causing chaos. We'll also touch on some chef secrets to make these sliders unforgettable. And finally, we'll tackle some questions your team is probably going to have.
You know the drill. December comes around and everyone's looking for menu items that feel special, comforting, but you've also got to be able to pump them out when the kitchen is just slammed. Finding that sweet spot, that perfect balance, that's the real key to a winning holiday season.
And here it is, your solution. We're talking loaded pulled pork sliders, but with a twist, a cranberry BBQ glaze. This isn't just another slider. We're taking a pub classic that everyone already loves and giving it this incredible seasonal upgrade. It just screams holiday special, has a super high perceived value, and it's an easy sell for happy hour or as a shareable plate.
Okay, now let's get to the part that really matters to your business. The money, the numbers. This is where these sliders go from just a great idea to an absolute no-brainer for your winter menu.
So, just look at this breakdown. It couldn't be clearer. Your estimated food cost is under $5. You put it on the menu for around $15.50, and boom. You're looking at a gross profit of $10.75 on every single order that leaves the kitchen.
And that all leads to this beautiful number right here, a 69% profit margin. Just let that sink in for a second. For a popular, high-volume item during your busiest time of year, a margin like that is a total game changer for your bottom line.
So you're probably asking, how in the world is that margin even possible? Well, it's a simple three-part strategy. First, you're smart about your sourcing, buying an economical cut like pork shoulder in bulk. Second, it's all about efficiency, batch cooking your main components. And third, it's a little bit of customer psychology. Using words like loaded and gourmet instantly creates a high perceived value, making that menu price feel like a great deal. Of course, a profitable dish doesn't do you any good if it brings your kitchen to a grinding halt during a rush. But the beauty of this recipe is that it was designed from the ground up for speed and efficiency, even when you're completely in the weeds.
So let's look at how it all comes together. The real key here is your prep strategy. The two things that take the most time, the slow-cooked pork and that amazing glaze, you're going to prep those in huge batches way before service even starts. So during the rush, all your line cooks have to do is toast some buns and assemble. It's a classic case of working smarter, not harder. And this just lays it out perfectly. It's a simple three-step workflow. You prep the big stuff way ahead of time, you make your fresh components for the shift, and then when an order comes in, it's just a quick assembly. That's it. It's a repeatable, consistent process that any cook can master, which means speed and quality every time.
All right, we've covered the business side and the operations. Now, let's talk about the craft. This is where we get into those small but absolutely crucial details that take these sliders from being just good to being something your customers are going to rave about and come back for again and again.
It really comes down to three things. First, the pork. Do not rush it. Low and slow is the only way you're going to get that perfect fall-apart texture. Second, that glaze has to be balanced. You need that perfect dance between tangy, sweet, and just a little bit of heat. And finally, think about presentation. Just by serving these on a rustic wooden board, you instantly make the whole dish feel more special.
Listen, if you take only one single tip away from this whole thing, please let it be this one. Toasting the buns is absolutely 100% non-negotiable. It does three critical things. It adds a great textural crunch, it gives you some warmth, and most importantly, it creates a barrier so the bun doesn't get soggy from all that delicious pork and glaze. Okay, to make sure this rolls out without a hitch in your restaurant, let's get ahead of the game. We're going to answer some of the most common questions your culinary team is probably going to ask you. All right, first things first, the absolute foundation of the dish. The protein is everything here. So what specific cut should your buyers be ordering to make sure you get perfection every single time? The answer, without a doubt, is Boston butt. You might also know it as pork shoulder.
And the food science here is pretty simple. It has incredible marbling and a ton of connective tissue. And over a long, slow cook, all that stuff breaks down and transforms into that ridiculously succulent, tender texture that you absolutely need for pulled pork. Next up, a great question about customization. You know, not every customer has the same taste for spice. So, can you easily tweak the heat level on that signature glaze?
Oh, absolutely. This is an easy one. You can dial the heat up or down just by adjusting the amount of cayenne pepper or maybe throwing in a pinch of dried chili flakes while the glaze is simmering. It gives you total control to tailor the flavor to what your customers like.
Now for a super practical and really important question, especially these days. How do you keep these things from getting soggy on takeout and delivery orders? Because nobody wants a soggy slider. The solution is actually pretty simple. You deconstruct it. You pack all the main parts, the toasted buns, the pork, the slaw, and that glaze, in their own separate containers. Then, and this is key, you include a little note that tells the customer to assemble it themselves right before they eat. This guarantees they get that fresh, restaurant-quality experience at home. And for our final question, this one's all about bumping up that check average. What drinks should your servers be recommending to go with these sliders? Okay, for your beer lovers, you've got options. The bitterness of an IPA cuts through the richness beautifully. A malty amber ale is a classic pairing, and a rich stout can stand up to all those bold flavors. For your non-alcoholic options, something like a sparkling cranberry spritzer plays right into that festive glaze, while a good tangy iced tea is perfect for cleansing the palate. So let's just do a real quick recap of the big takeaways here. We're talking about a dish with a potential 69% profit margin. It's designed specifically to be streamlined for busy kitchens. It has that festive, high-demand flavor profile people are looking for, and it's going to instantly elevate your happy hour menu. Look, this is a total win-win. Your guests get a delicious, memorable seasonal dish they're going to love, and your business gets a healthy, high-margin item that will make your accountant happy. So really, the only question left is, are you ready to put this profit powerhouse on your menu this winter?